September 7, 2020, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this week's edition of Viewpoint on DBS Television. It is the start of the new week, and today we'll be talking issues that happened previously, not far from today, talking about the ongoing crisis or insecurity in the Northwest region, particularly with the incident that happened, I think it's Friday to Thursday, and we are having somebody that was there at that particular moment. He witnessed it, the tensions, everything, the gunshots that were popping around, and today we'll be discussing about it, asking the question if Cameroonians in those regions should keep on suffering about that, should keep on suffering of the atrocity caused by the Amber fighters. And he is not new, he has always been with us, and he will always be with us. I'm talking of Kimbang Vitalis, a civil society activist. He'll be accompanied this week by Mange Venashus, naturally. Good evening to you, Mr. Kimbang, and thank you very much for being part of us. We are lucky having you again.
Good evening, Vanessa. Good evening, televiewers. I think it is my pleasure and to thank God that I've been able to make it all this while, all this long. So it is a pleasure for me being here once more.
Mange Venashus, happy week start to you and welcome.
Same to you, Vanessa, and good evening to our viewers in this first day of the week.
All right, let us take the first part of the show. That is the question and answer. Once more, you are welcome back. Our first question: is there any reason why the Northwest population should continue to suffer for the actions of the Amber fighters? Vitalis.
I would say yes and no at the same time, because it's a two-way question.
It's a two-way question. Yes and no. So which one to the greater extent?
I said no.
No. Mange Venashus.
No. Completely no.
Completely no. And is there any way forward to solve the crisis? Vitalis.
Yes.
Mange Venashus.
Of course, Vanessa, there is a way.
There is a way. Let us take a second part of the show, that is the debate. Vitalis, in our first question, you think that you said you are in between yes and no, but no to a greater extent why the Northwest population should continue to suffer the actions of the Amber fighters. We all know what happened in Bamenda. We all saw the video footages and what happened after the killing of a military man by the Amber fighters. And the population are those that are mostly suffering from these atrocities. They are they find themselves between the crossfire from the military and the Amber fighters. My question is, for how long will this continue, first of all? And why is it that the population is always there to suffer the consequences of their action?
Good evening once more, televiewers. Vanessa, when you talk about this question, as Ella said, it's a two-way question. And in this context, I happen to have been an eyewitness, and I want to tell you that everybody is confused about this situation. Why? First of all, you cannot identify an Amber fighter from an ordinary civilian, because first of all, they don't have uniforms, they don't have different identity cards, and they are just like any other civilian in Bamenda. And in Bamenda is a town that everybody is suspicious about another person, because at any moment in time, you don't know whether you are dealing with an Amber fighter, you are dealing with a soldier, or you are dealing with an ordinary citizen. Everybody has his own story to tell when you are in Bamenda. When you talk about atrocities, that is where the greatest confusion comes from. Because most of the information that we get is from a hearsay, as we used to say, because most often than not, we don't hear official statement being issued either by the government or by the leaders of the separatist movement. So when something happens in Bamenda, it is erroneous because you cannot say that this is exactly what happened.
Or who committed the act?
Who committed the act. So each and everybody in Bamenda or in the Northwest and Southwest has his and her own story, because the killings is not only one-sided. The soldiers are dying, these innocent civilians are dying, and the Amber Boys are dying. Now, when you ask a relative of a soldier, obviously who has lost one of his brothers, he will tell you that the Amber Boys are devils. If you ask a relative of an innocent civilian that was either caught in the crossfire or was intentionally shot either by the military or by the Amber fighters, he will tell that these people are devils. If you ask the relative of an Amber fighter that was killed, obviously he will tell you that the military people are devilish. So in this case, we don't know who is who. And I think the only solution that I will plead with government is that government should try and see how he can negotiate with the leaders of the separatist movement, because the population are really suffering. As I told you, I was in Bamenda on Tuesday. I witnessed what happened in Bamenda, and you needed to have seen the commotion. Yes, I've seen the distress on people's faces. You need to have seen us sitting in the midst of gun rattling. I don't know whether you are going to arrive home safe. And I tell you, you cannot differentiate who is shooting who or who is shooting what. And so you just hear gun rattling from all nooks and crannies of the town, and you cannot say who is shooting the guns. So that is where the population is caught in between these two forces. I happen to have, just before I came here, I was reading something on the social media where a certain girl is now battling her life at the General Hospital in Bamenda. She was caught by the stray bullets. The family cannot identify whether the stray bullet came from the military or it came from the Amber Boys. So this issue is the military and the Amber are fighting, but those who are really bearing the cross are the population. You needed to have seen the number of people who were at the park running to come to Douala, to Bafoussam, and to other safer regions. And most often than not, these people, when they come, they don't have what to eat, they don't have where to sleep. And this is a Cameroonian problem, which I think that if the authorities of this nation, they feel the pains of the common man, let's put our pride down. Let the government put its pride down. Let the separatist leaders put their pride down and look at the interests of the suffering masses and discuss a way out. Because those who are giving others, they are not there. They don't know what the population is passing through. Those who sit in Yaoundé and give others, they are not there. Those who sit in America and give others, they are not there. And most often than not, those who are at the forefront, they are rich people, and their relatives are not there to feel the pinch of what the poor people are feeling. At least we should fear God. We should fear God and see how we can, this government and the separatist leaders, they should sit down and come out of this crisis.
Thank you very much, Kimbang Vitalis. It's very pathetic listening to what you are telling us, and Wow, we feel it because you're on the ground and you felt what all other Cameroonians living in the Northwest region are going through. This is a crisis that has been ongoing for over 4 years now, and yet no concrete solution has been brought on the table. Man, given our shoes, you think that the population should not continue to suffer these atrocities?
Actually, Vanessa, the population should not be the scapegoat in this battle. You know, they say in my village, in my dialect, that when two elephants are fighting, it is the grass that suffers. And I think that the grass has been suffering in this fight for long. Like Mr. Kimbang was saying, if you see those who are talking about those who are asking, you know, the Amber Boys to continue in the fight, they are out of Cameroon. They are living a peaceful life. They are living a quiet life. Their children are going to school. But then we have citizens in Bamenda who, I was listening to one video footage, and the woman was, you know, lamenting for the son, the 3-year-old child. The woman did not know where the child is. In that commotion, Commercial Avenue, the child disappeared. You need to leave, you know, the agony of that woman. That was the case that the video footage had to have, you know, to capture. There are many others that we don't hear. You know, Vanessa, just the sound of a gun. I happened to have ventured to Bamenda in the course of this crisis. Yeah, and when I got just
actually
the sound,
feel what Mr. Kimba went
and
through,
when I just got just the sound of the gun, Vanessa, I was actually numb.
Yeah,
you know, I was freezed.
Luckily, all of us were witnessed that situation.
Yes, and the situation now is the population is once they start shooting, you don't know where it is coming from. And like Mbang was saying, the confusion in Bamenda now is you don't know who is a military, you don't know who is an Amber, and when it starts that way, you don't blame who, because anybody now, you don't know whether the person will shoot or he will not shoot. And that's why once they start, the people are used to now, once they hear the gun, everybody's just trying to go down to avoid
ground zero.
Yes, to avoid stray bullets. Because when you talk of stray bullets, it comes from any angle. And once it takes you, we don't know where who shot. I think that once the population is suffering, they should not suffer, because in as much as we cannot identify who the Amber Boys are directly, I read in another post where somebody was posting of these very Amber Boys who have cut circulation between Boyo Division and Bamenda City. They can't get into Bamenda because the Amber Boys have mounted barricades and they cannot get there. Vanessa, is as if once they are in town, you don't know them, but they know where they are.
They know where they are.
They know where they are. I think that when something happens like that, when we shoot anyhow, there is this commotion that comes on. I doubt how many people got sustained wounds, because it was just survival of the fittest. If you can have any way to hide your head from the images we saw, how many people got wounds, sustained wound? You saw others were just lying on the, you know, at the police station. Others were just lying down on the ground. You know, it's a pathetic situation that I think that I don't know whether the Cameroon government is actually seeing the suffering of the masses. Because if they had to see what the people are going through, I think it's high time we should start looking at what to do with this crisis. We have been talking of negotiating. Remember, Vanessa, we're talking issues that are happening in this country. When it came out on social media that the government is negotiating with separatist leaders who are in prison. The Minister of Communication refuted the information, saying that the information is far from reality. Which means they are not talking anything about. Which means they are not discussing anything. But then we have somebody like Sisiko Ayuk who posted in a Twitter page that he was contacted by the government. Some other sources point to the Archbishop of Yaoundé, who was the broker, peace broker in the discussion. I think that it's high time we should put these atrocities, not what people are going through, because it is the situation of the population, the civilian, that should push the government to solve. It is not. We are not solving it for the sake of the Ambers. No. We're not solving it for the sake of those who are out of the country. Because no.
I get to ask myself the question, do both camps have the interest of the population at hand?
When you look at it, what is happening, you are tempted to say no. Because if we have the interest of the population, look at when we just get up in the morning and they just announce that it is lockdown. We get up in the morning and just allow 1 week the road is closed. 1 week people don't circulate. How do you expect these people to live? How do you expect these people to survive?
Yeah, one thing too is that, as I earlier said, the policemen and the soldiers on the ground, they are confused, because from rumors I hear they tend to accuse the population that they are hiding amber boys within them, amongst them. So sometimes you can't really see, as I said, who is who, because for the military looks at every civilian in Bamenda like a suspect.
Like a suspect.
Yes, because those who shot the military at City Chemist, they were just normal civilians who came on the bike and shot the guy. Okay, you imagine that you are a soldier now, you are on the road.
And you saw that.
Yes, and you saw that. Any civilian or any motorbike that comes toward your way, that fear will be in you.
Of course.
Yes.
Probably why the circulation of motorbikes, commercial motorbike has been prohibited.
It's not only commercial motorbike, it is commercial motorbike, service motorbikes, and even personal
motorbikes.
I learned of the communique, and from what I got on social media from some of the Amber leaders, they say if the governor does not cancel that law, as from tomorrow in Bamenda, no bike will be on the road, no private car will be on the road, and no taxi will be on the road. So I have also gotten information that many people left Bamenda yesterday.
That's what the papers are saying this morning.
For Douala. Yes, many people left Douala today, which means that they are predicting that the days ahead will be tough. So those who are able to make their way out of the region, they are doing it. Then those who don't have anywhere to go, they depend on the mercy of God. And I want to plead. There are times that when I got up in the night, I look at this country, I cry. Because this is a country where we used to read all these things in books, and we never knew that someday people will be butchered like animals. That someday they will put a woman down and slaughter her like an animal. They will put a man down and cut him into pieces like an animal. The leaders of this nation, if they can hear our plight, please, you people should do something.
Yes, Vanessa, it is this very confusion that Kimbang was saying. It's not only the military that is confused. The Amber boys, the population is caught between two fronts. Once you sympathize with the military, you are a target for the Ambers. Once you sympathize with the Ambers, you are a target for the military. We had the girl who was assassinated in Bamenda. What was her crime? That she was cooperating with the military, and she was slaughtered. We have had cases.
It was not even proven that she was cooperating. If today I'm standing talking with the military, it doesn't mean that I'm cooperating with him.
Vanessa, there's a term they use in the Northwest region now, Northwest and Southwest region. They refer to you as a black leg, and once they refer to you as a black leg, those are the Amber terms. Once you are a black leg, it means you are a potential, corpse. Because they're just, yes, you are a risk to them. So the only thing they do is they eliminate you. And when they talk of eliminating you, is killing you. So once they see you besides a military man, they are what they have in mind is you want to sell out information to them.
Let the Amber not forget that those military men, they also have a family.
No. For them now, the military men are no longer.
No, they also have a family. They also have responsibility. They have families,
brothers and sisters who can also
get to them.
And like Mbang was saying, this military men is not Ambers. It's not as if they are extra human beings. They are in the community with the population. You don't know who's looking at you.
Are equally found in the military.
You don't know who's looking at you.
Exactly.
And that is why once they get somebody may be with you and they see you cooperating with a military man, before you know, Vanessa, even those of us Anglophones who are out of the country, who are out of these two regions, they still call you and threaten you that you are not supporting them. Have been called. That you are not supporting them, they still call you and try to tag you because you don't know who is who. And they have even
That's
been information
if you don't send us this amount of money, we are waiting for
some
you.
are even out of the regions. They are even in Douala, Bafoussam, Yaoundé. And so when this confusion, the situation has been in such a way that if, like Mbang was saying, it's high time that the government should look at how we can handle this situation. It is degrading in such a way that we may not be able to handle it in the next years to come. Because in as much as the crisis is going deeper and deeper, it is ramifying into the society, there is this, it will become a personal hatred. Because, Vanessa, I don't understand how you hold my sister and slaughter her like an animal, and then you tell me that I feel free with you, and then you tell me that I feel...
And one thing that confuses us most is that there is this blame game that people always say. They will say, no, the woman that was murdered in Moyoka, they were soldiers that disguised as Amber Boys. They and slaughtered the woman. The robbery in Metayen in Bamenda, they say it was the military that disguised as Amber Boys and came there. So there is always this confusion, blame game. This camp is blaming this other camp, and this other camp is blaming the other camp. So we don't have official statement from these two belligerents to tell us that we are responsible for this or we are responsible for this. So we just predict, we just gaze, we just gossip about what happened, and come out with our own facts or theory or what we are guessing that must have happened. But the fact is that the government should look into this matter.
Could come into a pace.
Yes.
Mr. Kambang, what caught my attention much was, this is not the first time that the military has been killed in this crisis. And we've had cases where 2-3 militaries are killed, or 3 soldiers are killed. But then this one that was killed, why was it so intense that the people have to face the wrath of the military so much? Because you see footages, you see that the military was actually mad about this incident. And I was asking myself, why is this one so too particular? Because I don't understand.
There was a story that was told, because it was not official, that the guy was supposed to leave Bamenda the next day, and that his wedding is coming up on the 17th of this month. So maybe that must have been one of the reasons
certainly
that provoked them to behave the way they behaved.
Certainly.
Yes. So I'm not saying that it was official, but that is the rumors that are going that I got in town.
All right. So since we are all talking about this crisis and ways out, because that is the wish of every Cameroonian, most especially the population living back there in Bamenda, all what they want is to see back that everything returns to normalcy in that region particularly. But I would like to ask, this crisis has to do with the northwest and the southwest region, but why is it so intense in the northwest region?
No, it's as if
compared to the other.
It's as if those who control the crisis, those who pilot the crisis or telecommand the crisis from abroad, they decide where it should happen. You know, about 2-3 weeks ago, it was the woman who was slaughtered in Moyoka, and it was like attentions were focused in Moyoka. And before then, a woman was slaughtered in Bamenda. It's as if they are telling them, do this, and but then, like you are saying, of recent, Bamenda has been in the spotlight because, like, every day, especially in Point Division, it's like every day.
It's just that this crisis that is don't have a direction. When I say direction, it means it doesn't is not coordinated in such a way that we can say that they have a standing soldier that are facing the Cameroon military. You know that at first it was the southwest region where we heard about Libya Lem, we heard about Kwakwa, we heard about the rest. Now it is the northwest, and most often is Bamenda. And this afternoon I was listening to a video that was sent out by the Bui warriors telling people that they should quit Tobin, quit Njamwe and the rest, that even a goat, a fowl should not be found there. So it's as if this crisis is like a pain on the body that moves from the head to the toe to the chest it's moving, just moving around. Because what they are trying. Say
when you have a toothache, it affects.
Yes, the whole body. That's what is really happening. Because today, when we see that this area is getting cool, the other area will pick up, and that is how it has been since this crisis started in 2007.
Okay, Vitali. So, what can be done concretely to solve the crisis?
I've said on this platform on several occasions that the only way to solve this crisis is for the two parties to sit down and come out with some solutions that is going to give hope to the people. Once the people know that what we have discussed and the resolution that we have come out with, there are hopes in the horizon, people will automatically abide by it. I want to tell you that each and everybody, people are tired of this crisis because each and every family is affected. Either you lost a family member, or either
you lost a friend,
or either you lost a village brother, or you lost. It has been pain.
Somebody you know.
Yes. For example, let's say for me, the number of children that I'm living with in the house, it's a burden for me because it's not of the crisis, they will not be with me. So that is my own burden that I'm carrying from this crisis, meaning that each and everyone is affected in this crisis. So the only thing that the government can do is to call for another dialogue, because sincerely, the last dialogue that was held in Yaoundé, people are not confident about it, because what they expected from the dialogue, according to popular opinion, they did not get it. So that's why you see this crisis still skyrocketing today. So if the government can come up with something that will give hopes to the people of the northwest and southwest regions, I think it will bring the crisis to an end. They will not even need soldiers to
be stationed around.
Yes, because the people see that there is hope in the horizon. There will even be the people to take the Amba boys and no, look, enough is enough. We don't need you people again. Yes. The soldiers are not there. Why are you people carrying guns around? Amba boys are not spirits. There are people that they know them in the villages. They know that this one comes from this house, this one comes from this house, and the people can talk to them.
And probably they comes where they are situated.
Yes, the problem is that people are confused. They don't know where to, because when you go on social media, when a soldier is killed, you go there and you see rape in here, rape. You see people. Some people are supporting, some people are against, some people are supporting. You go when an Amba fighter is killed, some people are lamenting, others are rejoicing. So it's a matter of a total confusion. But if we have discussed and we have come to a consensus, and there is hope for the youths and for the entire community, at least people will say, no, we have suffered enough. Now let's have peace.
Let's have peace. Manga Fena, choose your own concluding one.
Yes, Vanessa, I think I'm afraid we are gradually growing past this issue of it is an internal affair that Cameroon should handle our internal affairs. We are moving out of that spectrum, because we have been singing the same song and the situation is, worsening. After the major national dialogue, we are already getting to one year, or September, October. 1 year after, and the situation has not cooled down. 1 year after the DDR centers were formed, nothing has happened. 1 year that nothing is happening. So I think that we should, at one point, there's this humility that you need to call your neighbor and say, please, come and help me broker peace in my house. Maybe I'm not able to see things with my wife. You should not keep insisting that no, it is a family affair. I must be the one to settle issues with my wife. I think that we are growing past that issue of an internal affair. Let us try to see if help can come from outside by begging the international community to throw an eye on what is happening in Cameroon, because we are moving into an area that very soon Cameroon will be more than Sudan. More than other African countries, Libya, Central Africa. Let us try to handle this crisis when it has not grown beyond our beyond our national boundaries.
And there is a video on social media that is going around, viral photo, where a young man has been tied up and he's been cut into pieces like firewood. I saw the image and I was unable to watch it right to the end because I'm allergic to those messages. So the government should at least, the government and the separatists should feel the pains of the people on the ground and at least come to a consensus. We are tired. All
right. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Thank you very much for your participation and contribution. If I wasn't strong enough, then maybe I would have gone out of emotions here on set. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. We have hopes, we keep hopes, and we lay everything to the Almighty God that things will come to a standstill in those regions. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned tomorrow. We'll be back, God willing. Goodbye.